Travis Wingazzo. So, yeah, I wonder if the Harp Twins do Indagata da Vida. That would be cool. Well, I won't check. Second twin is for spare parts. Just hilarious. I can see those two fighting, pulling hair, scratching, ripping off clothes. Oh my god, just hilarious. So, speaking about women causing fights, the Davis County Mormon Housewives has picked a fight with everybody, the whole world. And so, if you're clueless, living under a rock, you're not aware of the news, several months ago, Davis County passed a law for book banning. And so if a book falls into the category that the legislature there in Davis County had designated to be banned, is to be banned. So having done that, Utah Mormon Housewives rose up to file for the Bible to be banned from the school libraries because of porn. Oh, the irony is just precious. Oh my god, just hilarious, because the church vilifies porn. And so this was inevitable when you get fanaticism within a religion. And all of us know exactly how this happened in Davis County. These women all live in the same neighborhood. They go to the same ward for church. They all go to the same birthday parties for their kids. And go to the same schools. And they talk. And they express their concerns about how to run other people's lives. And so, yeah, they're talking about the Bible. And so, yeah, they were concerned about the problems in the Bible. And apparently they don't know their Bible very well, because if they knew their Bible very well, they would have done this a long time ago. But they would have also done it to the Book of Mormon, as I did the video last night. Oh, dear God. And so Davis County is north of Salt Lake. It includes the cities of Layton, Bountiful, where Nelson and Irene live, which is also a reason why this happened here. They think that they're the chosen city in Bountiful, because that's where the prophet lives. And so they get extreme, thinking that that's what Nelson wants. Dear God. And then Farmington, Kaysville, Clearfield, Syracuse, Centerville, Clinton, Woods Cross. Stay away from Woods Cross Police Department. They're on a tear there. And there's been... Fox 13 News Utah has even exposed the police here in Utah. They have to get quotas. They don't call them quotas. It's like pyramid schemes. They don't call them pyramid schemes. It's multi-level marketing schemes. It's still the same thing. And so whatever it is that they're claiming they're doing for the police departments. It's a quota. They get punished if they don't meet their quotas. And then West Point, Fruit Heights, and West Bountiful. I've been to the Bountiful ward when I was dating Kimberly. She called President Irene's wife. I was surprised. I didn't expect her to do that, or to even know her, or to be able to have access to call her. And she knew her as a friend, as a housewife to housewife. And I was even more impressed with her. She understood my Paleo-Hebrew decipherment script. Talk about bonus points for a girlfriend. But then we had an argument because she believed the incorrect beliefs of Mormons about charity, thinking it's love. No. She destroyed the relationship from that. Dear God. So, as I told you in the other video, I intended to do Benjamin Franklin Johnson and tie that in to what this whole Bible bashing, banning thing is all about, which will cause Mormons to denounce Mormonism, because that's Benjamin F. Johnson. He's the one that tells that Mormon myth in our seminary class. And they leave things out in seminary that it would have been important to know. Because this has a direct tie-in to what's going on. And yes, what the women have done is going to fulfill Book of Mormon prophecy, that the Bible, as a stumbling block to Mormons, will destroy the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the great and abominable church. Joseph Smith, first vision, verse 19. That's what he's telling us. Christianity is the great and abominable church, and Jesus of Christianity is the abominable Christ in that first creed. It's an easy, simple match. Great and abominable, they're all an abomination. Uses the same word. Desolation of abomination? Oh, by the great and abominable church. All of it tied together. So, it also is a prophecy of Joseph Smith's revelation in a parable he gave in section 101, and again expands upon and refers to in a super sacred secret document that the church just recently revealed online for all of us in the Joseph Smith papers. But interestingly, despite bringing it forward for all Mormons, the church is not putting it in a new edition of the Doctrine and Covenants with other sermons of Joseph Smith. You know, women like 17th of March, 1842. We got the document. Why won't the church put it in? You have to read the document to know why they won't put it in. And it helps to read Oakes's conference talk, or listen to him, or watch it. Let me bring it up for you. Need to go to this file, and then over to that file, and then over to this file, and a super secret file. Don't worry. So, Dallin H. Oakes, the next president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, number 18. Well, that's 6 plus 6 plus 6. Sure, that's just a coincidence. Alright, here we go. Somebody had put a meme online contrasting with Eldon Tanner that blacks will never hold the priesthood. It is not the design and will of God. This was before 1978. And then we have Oakes, who says that women are not free to alter the divinely decreed pattern. Davis County women just did that, Oakes. They fulfilled prophecy, altering your divinely decreed pattern for establishing Zion. They took it away from you. Zion is no more. It has fled. Because of what we're going to go over. That only men will hold offices in the priesthood. So again, Joseph Smith Papers, 17 March 1842. And I doubt he'll change his mind when he's the president. Because they're not referencing the Joseph Smith Papers. They won't do it. They can't. It would destroy their church. Just good times, happy times, fun times. Okay, so first we need to go over Benjamin F. Johnson. Because this is going to happen, Mormons, thanks to the Davis County Mormon Housewives. There used to be a show, Salt Lake City Housewives, wasn't there? Well, now it's the Davis County Housewives. So Benjamin was baptized in the church in Kirtland in the spring of 1835. And so you baptized by Lyman E. Johnson. Is that his father? No. Ezekiel Johnson Jr. is his father. So it's a completely different Johnson. Okay? Okay. Heber C. Kimball ordained him an elder March 10th, 1839 in Far West, Missouri. Okay? Pay attention to that. Heber C. Kimball in 1839 had previously cooed the church, and Joseph Smith is still in Liberty Jail. 1 week later, Thomas B. Marsh would get a letter from Brigham Young saying, "Come back for your disciplinary court. You're going to be excommunicated from the presidency of the 12 for leaving because the Danites chased you out." Okay? Heber and Brigham Young converted the Danites in the first place. And I've gone over the history of all that. It has to do with 9/11, 1826 in Canandaigua, New York, where Joseph Smith Sr., the Master Mason of the Yorkites Freemasonry. And the Yorkites is not the Scottish Rites. Scottish Rites are the bad guys of the 33-degree Masons, infiltrated by the Illuminati of the inverted pentagram that Brigham Young embraced. Joseph Smith Sr. was the Knights Templar, the bloodline of the Christ, the Holy Grail, the Egyptian gold plates, the buying up of America for the Latter-day Zion, X marks the spot in southern Illinois, etc., etc., etc. And so, in 1835, he's innocent. It doesn't say who gave him the Book of Mormon or how he joined the church in the first place. It just says that Lyman E. Johnson, in the spring of 1835, baptized him. And I'm wondering, we'll check on him. See who he is. Original member of the Quorum of the 12, with Thomas B. Marsh as president. He broke with Joseph Smith during the 1837-1838 period when the schism divided the church. Schism? Is that what you're calling it? It was a coup. So yeah, he was innocent, but was chased out by Brigham Young. They're saying it was Joseph and Sidney that he broke with. Became a successful pioneer lawyer in Iowa. Okay, Sidney Rigdon baptized him in February 1831. And Joseph and Emma moved into his home September 12, 1831. He was ordained an elder October 25th, 1831. High priest, November. And went with Orson Pratt on a mission to the eastern states. And were able to bring many Mormons who were innocent. So, yeah. Then he was in the Quorum of the 12. See how the Wikipedia, the church, dominates this? They won't let you know about 1838. They withhold information purposely. So, yeah, it's February 14th, 1835. Became an apostle in the Traveling High Council, which is different from the Standing High Council 12, where Samuel Smith was placed in. Big difference. See, Brigham turned his Traveling 12 into the Standing 12, but merged it with the Traveling 12, of which he was. So that's why the presidents of the church are the administrative leadership, but travel all over the world because of Brigham Young. Alrighty. And so, yeah, he was affected by the bank failure, which was caused by the Danites. Danites took out loans, failed to pay them back, bank collapsed, people ran on the bank to get their money back, couldn't get it. Joseph Smith was blamed. Joseph Smith got out, and then boom, the Danites then attacked him because he came out with the visionary accounts, which are the exact same as Joseph or Lehi's vision in the Book of Mormon. The second vision of Lehi, same as the second vision of Nephi or Joseph Smith. Okay. Church held a High Council trial. See, High Council, not Brigham Young. Yet Brigham Young is excommunicating Thomas B. Marsh. He didn't have authority to do so, but Joseph Smith is gone. Who's going to stop him? It's the High Council that does it. And they ejected Johnson, his brother Luke Johnson. Oh. I'm getting flashbacks. There was $1844. No, he would have left before then. Okay, so the High Council trial just removed them from the Quorum of the 12 in 1837, September 3rd. Boynton, who was also kicked out, was insulted because the revelation of God that the bank would never failed. Despite these difficulties, Johnson and others temporarily reconciled with church leaders and were restored to their apostleships. September 10th, 1837. So it was just a week-long removal, and then they were put back in. Okay. So, here we have 1838. Meanwhile, schismatic strife between the Loyalist faction and the dissenting faction continued to divide the church in Kirtland. That's what you're calling them? The Loyalist versus the dissenting factions? Dear God, who did this? The schismatic strife followed them, but in far west, the Loyalists, just call them Danites, and the actual Church of Joseph Smith. Loyalists were able to keep control by excommunicating the leadership of the Missouri Church. Okay, David Whitmer, John Whitmer, and W.W. Phelps, along with Oliver Cowdery, Johnson, and others. Okay, David Whitmer was chased out by the Danites, threatened by them, so it's difficult to understand what he's referring to. Are the Loyalists the Danites, or are the dissenting faction the Danites? That's what he's not making clear here. He's not acknowledging the Danites, whoever put this in here. In Johnson's case, a list of 7 charges were presented to him by Far West High Council on April 9th, 1838. Which would suggest that the Loyalists are Joseph's church and the dissenters are the Danites, but the Danites are not listed here. Then he would appeal the suit between him and brothers Phineas Young. There we go. There's a brother of Brigham. Take it out of the county. Okay, so there was Johnson's case had to do with an argument between him and Phineas Young. Brigham Young's brother. Was an older brother of Brigham Young, who was president of the LDS. LDS what? Who was the president of the LDS Church? Oh, Brigham Young was the president. But we should still find out what position Phineas Young was. This is how you do research, guys. Gotta get the full history here in order to make proper conclusions. So life, that's it. After Oliver Cowdery was excommunicated from the church in 1838, he actually left and then was excommunicated for leaving. Young wrote him several letters pleading with him to come back to the church. Yeah. Because he's with Brigham Young. Young settled in Salt Lake City. Mission to England. 1853, he was a second counselor to my third great grandfather, David Fulmer. the older brother, in the stake presidency in Salt Lake. Yeah. So David would not have known. And he was a bishop. So yeah, he wasn't really promoted by his brother Brigham. He was kept out of the loop. So what was he doing? Three witnesses selected Young as one of the inaugural members of the Quorum of the 12. Okay, so this was a fight within the Quorum of the 12. Joseph Smith replaced Young in the Quorum of the 12, putting his brother William in. Now I see what's going on here. Brigham Young retaliated in 1838 by excommunicating William. And then when Joseph got out of Liberty Jail, he put William back in. So after Joseph was murdered, Brigham again, permanently this time, because Joseph got rid of William Smith, removed him from the 12, and then excommunicated him. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, Brigham and Joseph were the best of friends. See, this is important to get church history right, to do your research, because there are bombshells in there. All right. So yeah, Lamine Johnson does not appear to be, yeah, but he does go internal fighting with Phineas Young. Apparently they were fighting to get Johnson excommunicated and then justify putting Phineas Young in. I'm willing to bet you they leave that information out. Alrighty. Wow. Awesome. And that took extra time, but this is kind of essential to your eternal salvation. And so, yeah, Benjamin F. Johnson was also in Brigham Young's Council of 50. Not Joseph Smith. We have the Joseph Smith papers. They exposed this. I exposed it because the church won't expose it. You have to do research. And so in 1844, as we're counting down to Joseph Smith's assassination, Brigham Young claims to have received a letter from Joseph Smith in which Joseph Smith is saying, stop petitioning me for President of the United States. Come back, we're going to war. Which is what the whole Council of 50 was about. It was the secret combination to overthrow the American government. And it was behind Joseph Smith's back. He didn't know about it. He's running for president. This is a counter-government organization. The same counter-government organization that I exposed with the little black book of members, which the Scousins are members of. And they've been involved in destroying America, rigging the 2016 election, overturning Roe v. Wade, All of it is them. So, yeah. But in order to understand how Benjamin F. Johnson was now affiliated with the Danites, the secret group of Gadianton that was hiding within Joseph's church, committing all sorts of crimes and blaming it on Joseph. We go to 1838. Notice they don't give the day and the month. He moves to Adam Ondai Ammon. He's in Adam Ondai Ammon. And so it's occupied by regular American citizens, right? No. Mormons. What kind of Mormons? Let's see if we can figure it out. He moves there and he's immediately arrested. He's a Mormon. He's with Joseph Smith. He had the incident in 1837, but was brought back into the church. Right? Or was that the Lyman? That was a Lyman guy. So he's still good. And so he's a good Mormon. He's an elder, right? Nope, not yet. He's just a baptized Mormon. So he moves to Adam Ondai Ammon, where we need to bring up, we'll come back to you, section 117. Newell K. Whitney. In verse 11, let my servant Newell K. Whitney be ashamed of the Nicolaitan band. Huh? Well, you go to the footnote A, and it says Revelation chapter 2, verse 6, in parentheses, 6, 15, or parentheses. That doesn't help. That's the exact same word. So they've been around for 2,000 years? No. This is a code word. It was supposed to have been removed in the 1981 editions. The original Doctrine and Covenants is still had by the Community of Christ now. They have all the coding still in their Doctrine and Covenants. It is the 1981 edition that Bruce R. McConkie and others worked on decoding, they claim, all of the encoded words. They missed some. And there's a reason why they missed some, is because you see Adam Ondai Ammon in verse 8, in the plains of Olaha, Shinha. Wait, Shinha? That's Kirtland. And see, Bruce R. McConkie uses this in his Mormon doctrine to translate Adam Ondai Ammon, the land where Adam dwelt. No, Bruce, because it's after the plains of Olaha, Shinha. So something's weird, because Adam is in Adam Ondai Ammon, but the plains of Olaha, Shinha, or where the land where Adam dwelt. Maybe that's why they didn't decode those. So, all their secret abominations. There's the word abominations. Who's the great and abominable church? The church with Jesus Christ. Who's the Church of Jesus Christ? Brigham Young and his 12 who converted the Danites, who came to Salt Lake City, who my mom's side of the family are Danites. Senator Mike Lee, Danite. Chris Stewart, who's forcing an election this year to replace him. Because for some reason, he's wanting to bail in the final year of the latter days, when his third grade grandfather, a Danite, was there in Davies County causing an election fraud and being the first to get knocked down to the ground. Which started the war, and then got Joseph Smith blamed for it and locked up in Liberty Jail in 1838. Yeah, all of this comes full circle here. History is repeating itself because they did what they did as a symbol of what they were going to do in the latter days. That's why this church is the great and abominable church. And it's hilarious that the Davis County Housewives are going to ruin their plot and destroy them. Awesome. Wow, we're only at 37 minutes? I thought we were over 3 hours by now. Alrighty. And so, yeah, this is a forged document, by the way. Don't think this was real. It's a Danite who's writing this and says, Newell K. Whitney, be ashamed of being a Danite, which embrace the name for the church as Jesus Christ. They put in the name, which caused Joseph Smith in 1838 to make his visionary account, calling Christianity and Jesus abominable. They're purposely putting it in here. But they're the ones who are forging this document. That's what I say. When a person lies, you learn the truth behind the lie. Because if you get tricked into their lie, you don't find out the truth. Okay, so let's put it back to section 101, starting in verse 43. Okay? So what's the Danites here? Section 116. Spring Hill, which is just down the road, or down the trail, from Newell K. Whitney's home. Danite. That's Danite country. Adam-on-Diamond is spelled wrong because the Danites are mocking Joseph Smith. It's A-W-M-E-N. It's in the Joseph Smith papers. And so, yes, 116 is a forged document. I've done the videos. Newell K. Whitney's home is Adam-on-Diamond. The Danites. It's the headquarters for the Danites. And that's where they went to Davies County for election fraud, starting the Mormon Civil War with America. Caused the extermination order of the Mormons. Got Joseph Smith framed and locked up in Liberty Jail while Brigham Young coups the church and takes over leadership as the president of the 12 traveling missionaries. Huh. Uh-huh. Just see what I know? I'm only able to share a portion of what I know, because my brain works faster than my mouth. Believe it or not. And so here, he's confronted by the Danites and arrested because he's Mormon. He's not the right Mormon. And so for 8 days, he was tortured. And while sitting there, a Danite came to him with a rifle in his hands and said, "Give up Mormonism." Which Mormonism? Church of Jesus Christ or the Church of Christ, which is Emmanuel. And to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name Emmanuel, we call it Melchizedek. Section 107. You give up Mormonism right now, or I'll shoot you. And so we have to stand strong in the faith of Jesus, right? That's what we're told. They use this story. They don't tell us it's Adam on Diamond. They don't tell us it's a Danite. You give up Joseph Smith and follow us as Danites. This is their whole trap. To blame Joseph Smith for everything they're doing, so that when they get in trouble, they just say, we're just following Joseph Smith. So Joseph Smith gets blamed. Even to this day, with what's going to happen thanks to the Davis County Mormon Housewives, Joseph will still be blamed. And it will be Mormons who suffer. And Mormons are going to be faced by Christians and Islam, because they believe in the Bible too. The Jews, they're pacifists. Just leave them alone. You can ban whatever you want. Just leave them alone. But Islam and Christians, yeah, they have no problem murdering you. You ban the Bible, they will murder you. Good job, Mormon women. And so they will say, give up Mormonism, or they'll shoot you. This is coming. This is why they put it here. It's because this is the trap they set for the latter days. And so are you going to deny Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon as learning of the Jews? Oh, you didn't know that that's what it was? You thought it was Christian Jesus. So yeah, you'll be forced to accept the Bible and Jesus as your Lord and Savior and give up once and for all the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. That's what you're going to be faced with, and you're not even going to have a clue that Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are actually the learning of the Jews and not the Danite abomination of Jesus. And so, yeah, supposedly he pulled the trigger and the gun failed to discharge, and he declared that he had used the gun 20 years and had never before misfired. And so, yeah, he became a Danite. Benjamin F. Johnson became a Danite. He was then approved of as an elder by Heber C. Kimball in 1835 or 1839, March 10th. Joseph Smith was not around. Heber C. Kimball is now with Brigham Young as the leaders of the church that cooed the church. And because of Benjamin F. Johnson betraying Joseph and joining the Danites, Heber C. Kimball, the leader of the Danites, made him an elder. See how this was working? Are Mormons going to give up on Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon to save their lives and the lives of their families, thanks to the Davis County women, as Mormons will never know that they are not Christian. That Jesus is not your Christ. And so, yeah, one of the Missourians was heard saying, "You better not try to kill that man." Just so wrong. And so in 1848, he came to Salt Lake Valley. He didn't go in 1847. But he still went. And so, yeah, he's claiming that his sister married Joseph Smith. No. This was all part of the frame. I'm willing to bet it was during the taught and practiced polygamy during his ministry. Oh dear God, how the churches bleeped this up. Joseph Smith preached against polygamy his whole life. And here they are, screwing up Wikipedia. Taught and practiced polygamy during his ministry. Dear God. And married multiple women during his lifetime. Oh my hell. This is blasphemy. And if you don't even bother to do your research, dear God. He didn't teach it. The Book of Mormon condemns it 5 times. His Doctrine and Covenants, section 1835, condemns polygamy with a whole chapter on monogamy. Where is it? What happened to it? Where'd it go? It's missing. Oh, right. The year before Brigham Young died, Brigham Young removed it. What did he put in its place? Oh, a magically appearing section 132. About what? Polygamy. And it's got the fingerprint linguistics of Brigham Young all over it. And there are even contradictions in there. He doesn't even get it right. Dear God. So what was I here for? Johnson's wife. Yeah. Okay, so... Miranda Nancy Johnson Hyde. Wife of Orson Hyde. Daughter of John Johnson. I don't think that's her. Yeah, April 1842. No. See, Elizabeth Davis is claiming before June 1842. Yeah, it's all 1842 is what they're claiming here. This is no, because Desdemona Fulmer will be listed here in 1842, and my ancestors know this is a lie. Dulcina Johnson. They don't say what his sister's name is. Sister to Benjamin F. Johnson. Yeah, this is her. Dulcina, also 1842. Okay, let's find Desdemona Fulmer. Seriously? Heber C. Kimball's daughter. Oh my God. Yep, here, Desdemona, yep. July 1843. A blatant outright lie. All of us in our family line know it was after Joseph died, which means the church is lying, and it means that Willard Richards forged the sealing documents. I am one who knows the truth on this. She is my third great grandmother, or third great aunt, technically. Sister to John Solomon Fulmer, my third great grandfather. We know in our family that this is an outright blatant lie of the church. Do you understand this? So any of these other claims are now suspect. And when you see Kimball involved, when you see Johnson involved, that adds to the suspicion that there's forgeries going on. And if we were to find the Joseph Smith papers sealings, we would confirm the forgeries. Because Brigham Young's letter does not match the linguistic handwriting. Well, that's actually the handwriting, not the linguistic per se. It would, but yeah. To Emma's letter at around the same time period in 1844, where he also says, hey, I gave Heber C. Kimball $1,000. Make sure that goes to the right place. Completely different personalities, but obviously different people are being written to, supposedly. But different handwritings for the name. And one didn't actually happen. It was just a justification to get Brigham Young to come back to Nauvoo, where he was identified in Nauvoo during the murder. We didn't know that he was back. He wasn't supposed to be back. But now in the Joseph Smith papers, we learn why it was suspicious for Brigham Young to be back. He had forged a letter under Joseph Smith's name to justify being back and in the area to run the church in Joseph's death. Okay? Now we got that history corrected with the Mormon myth explained and in the context for the latter days that's about to happen. Joseph Smith gave a parable in section 43, and the church manual screws this up big time, and I did the video correcting it. I will now show unto you a parable that you may know my will concerning the redemption of Zion. By who? Jesus? Section 103, verse 16. The man like Moses. A Mormon. From verse 40 of the second vision, which is exactly the same as the Book of Mormon with Lehi's second vision. Learning of the Jews Christ, a human, and Joseph Smith adds Mormon, because Joseph Smith Sr. is of the Yorkites, which is the bloodline of the Knights Templar of the Christ. And so Junior was the founding Christ of Mormonism. And through Hiram would come the latter-day Mormon Christ to rescue Mormons from the great and abominable church. And he's mentioned here in this parable. But you have to hearken to him. Mormons are failing miserably, and they're fulfilling prophecy in doing so. So a certain nobleman had a spot of land. This is the Knights Templar that bought the whole eastern half of the United States because they knew where X marks the spot for the latter-day Zion. And then put in the caves the Egyptian gold plates, according to the legend, which is why Joseph Smith talks about in 1838 Egyptian gold plates. And talking about the bloodline Christ in verse 40. And so he's talking about the olive trees. 12 olive trees. 12 houses of Israel. Mormons. They're not the servants. Servants are the leaders, the prophets of Brigham Young. Because originally it's Joseph. And so he's telling the servants what he wants. He wants watchmen, a tower, and lots of homes for the olive trees. And then a hedge to protect the olive trees so that the enemy would not break it down and spoil and take the Mormons after they denounce the Bible and ban it. See, this is why I'm bringing it up, because what the Davis County Mormon Housewives did is fulfill this. I'd always been wondering, how would the enemy do it? Why would they do it? Why just Utah Mormons? Why? How? And now I know. And they can back off. They need to save their lives, to save the church. But Sean Reyes, he's sued. He's gonna do it. He's gonna ban the Bible. And so unless he backs down now, this is a mess. Because you do not touch the Bible of Christians. They will go to war. Islam. You know, it's not the Quran, but in the Quran, they support the Bible. So you can't touch it. Oh, dear God. How could you be this dumb? I mean, to be culturally insensitive is one thing, but then to be so culturally insensitive that you ban their sacred texts. Talk about disrespecting marriage. Talk about denying religious freedom. Dear God. And so, over time, Joseph Smith does not mention him getting murdered here. He does not mention that his church is usurped. That's in another place. 19 July 1840. We're coming to that. And so, yeah, this is now the Great and Abominable Church under Brigham Young. They build the tower, which everybody knew when I was working on the footnotes revision in the 2000s for the 2009 Spanish edition, that the church office building is the tower, the fulfillment of the tower. That Salt Lake City Temple Square is Zion. Nelson's confirmed this now. There will be no exodus to Zion because it's already here in Utah. He has canceled the exodus. And he tricked Mormons into not going on the Exodus in 2020, by the way. If you've been following me on that atrocity and abomination. This is how Mormons are so wicked. And see, all of you are new. Very few of you were there before 2020, when I was doing all the videos warning you. I've lost all those members or subscribers to my channel. They're gone. Like I said, only about a handful are still around. They died. They don't watch my channel. That's why it's weird to see 867 subscribers, and I'm lucky if I can get 50 views for a video. Because the majority of them, 500 plus, are dead because they didn't hearken. So sad. And so, Judas, might not this money be given to the exchangers? Might not the tithing in Ensign Peak Advisors be laundered into the stock market to follow the parable of the talents? Right, Nelson? Fulfilled. This is why Nelson is buying up land, so that Zion can exist after the destruction. And while they were at variance one with another, Mormon prophets got slothful, did not hearken to the true Christ. And then here we go. The enemy came by night, broke down the hedge, and the servants of the nobleman arose and were frighted and fled. Prophets are going to flee. Good job, Davis County Mormon Housewives. Because you banned the Bible, which has become a stumbling block because of the great and abominable church. Because even Brigham Young removed the plain and precious things of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. Polygamy, for example, put in place of monogamy. Now you have Wikipedia spreading the lies of this church. And the enemy destroyed the temples, the churches, Temple Square, the Salt Lake Temple. I will destroy this temple, that not one brick shall stand, and in 3 days I will raise it up again. That got Jesus arrested as a terrorist threat to destroy buildings. I'm sure it's not a prophecy of the man like Moses, who would likewise be in Utah and be arrested by the church as a terrorist to blow up buildings in Utah. No, not at all. Right, Shirtlift? 2008. Fulfilled. Check. And so, yeah, Mormons are going to be broken down. Destroyed. Good job, guys. And so, yes, this is what will cause it. If Reyes doesn't drop it, if the Davis County Mormon Housewives don't drop it, if Davis County doesn't put an exemption clause for religion, in their law. This will cause fury from Christians. This will cause wrath from Islam. The BYU Jerusalem Center closed permanently. Don't be surprised if they decide to destroy it. Do you not understand the seriousness of what those women did? With their fanatical Mormonism, they have unleashed a fire fury storm that if they don't stop it immediately, the prophecies of Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon will come to pass. And they'll be proven as true prophets and books of Revelation. But when the enemy comes to Utah to murder Mormons, if they don't denounce Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon, because the Book of Mormon will now be banned, the church will have succeeded in their plot to destroy Joseph's church. Because the church already owns the land. After the destruction of America and the church, prophets come back from their Caribbean islands. Oh, we own the land. So I guess the government's destroyed? Well, we'll take over. Our kingdom is restored. This is their plot. This is their plan. This is why they're trying to overthrow the government. This is why they're turning Mormons into fanatics. You're falling for it. Because you've turned the Bible into an idol god. To fear it. Because it harms children as porn. Now, do you understand why they excommunicated Natasha Helfer? She said the medical doctors say that porn is not addictive. That porn does not therefore harm children. But these Davis County Mormon housewives don't believe science. They are hardcore extremist Mormons. And the church has weaponized them to do this. And so then the Lord said to the man like Moses, one of his servants, go and gather the gathering. Man like Moses, the keys of gathering, the Exodus. And so they have to build Zion. Redeem my vineyard, for it is mine. I have bought it with money. We're not talking about the churches buying up land around the world. This is the Knights Templar. X marks the spot in southern Illinois for Zion. Joseph Smith Sr. as the Master Mason of the York Rites with the Knights Templar designated his sons as the bloodlines, him as the bloodline. And thus they claim the land on behalf of the Knights Templar. That's the whole reason for the Book of Mormon. Egyptian gold plates. Bloodline of the Christ. Temple of Solomon. Alright. So 19 July 1840. Then the enemy shall come as a thief in the night. They say one blank line. We already know what that is from section 101. Scatter the servants abroad. We can go back and refer to it. And so, enemy came by night, broke down the hedge. Servants of the nobleman arose and were frightened and fled, scattered the servants abroad. And so it's the servants, the prophets, that scatter. And when the seed of the 12 olive trees are scattered abroad, so now they're also saying Mormons are going to be scattered abroad. Mormons are already scattered. This is the final year. If Mormons get scattered, the gathering has to be quick because it's next year, the last day of the latter days, 8 April 2024. Millennium starts the next day. Or in the evening if you're using the learning of the Jews. And so, yeah. These Davies County Mormon housewives definitely woke up the nations. But then he throws in, this nation, United States, will be on the verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground. And when the Constitution is on the brink of ruin, you know it is hanging by a thread. That's the Mormon myth. That's what he actually said. Mormons are supposed to save the country. Oops. The Danites tried to overthrow it and are a part of the secret combination that were involved in all of this. And so then the gathering. He talks about the mountain cities of Zion and New Jerusalem. Cities, not kingdom. Joseph Smith had no intention of overthrowing the government. He wanted to live within the laws of the Constitution. That's why he was running for president, to ensure that the Mormons would be allowed to live within the rules of the Constitution, and not be attacked. And instead, Brigham Young organized the Council of 50 to sabotage the whole thing. Because if they get exposed, if Joseph wins the presidency, and this Council of 50 emerges as getting exposed, who are they going to blame? Joseph, not Brigham Young. This is the whole trap. And so that's what the Danites planned for the latter days. To destroy Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon once and for all. To ban them. Just like the United States banned John Taylor's polygamous revelations. They had to be removed from the Doctrine and Covenants. The church doesn't mention that, do they? And instead we say it's a myth that those apostate branch-offs in 1920 claimed authority from John Taylor for his missing scriptures that they most likely forged. Where would they get the idea of forging documents from? I wonder. So, I thought I deleted you. Are you saying that I had two? How can I have two? I've never had two. That's weird. So, yeah, 114 minutes, but I was able to cover all of the information together for you. Dear God, women. This is why I don't see myself as getting married. I can't marry a Mormon. I can't marry an ex-Mormon. Because both blame Joseph.